Hey everybody, it's Dr. William Clark here for Leadership Conversations. This is the show where we talk about leadership according to the role that matters to you. I'm glad to have you back with me in the saddle. I always enjoy our time together on our podcast, and I hope that this podcast is helpful to you like any other podcast. But I wanted to take the time to talk with you today about building a new project or building a new program, and we try to help small businesses, nonprofits, churches, ministries to figure out how to move forward on their journey of being the very best self they can be for their customers and for their business. And so this podcast continues on that journey as we seek to help you. Now, there are three things that I wanted to quickly share with you when it comes to launching a new project, a new program, or a new thing, a new business line, a new product, or whatever. And there are three simple things I want to share with you. Number one, you got to have a vision. And I know I'm preaching to the choir when I talk about having vision. Many of you who are watching this podcast, who are following this podcast, who are listening to this podcast, many of you have extreme vision. You guys have belief in what you're trying to do, and you see what tomorrow holds and what's included in making tomorrow a reality. And I am internally grateful for people like you, because it's visions like yours. It's the visions you all share with me. It's the insight you share with me about what you want to accomplish that makes this podcast go. But I do need to encourage you to continue to think about tomorrow. And as visionary leaders, as leaders who have expectations about tomorrow, who sees tomorrow, even though tomorrow has not yet come, vision is so critical, because without vision, we have no reason to establish restrictions or to put into place disciplines that can help us get to our goals for our businesses. Yes, people who are disciplined actually have a vision they're trying to accomplish. They have a vision they're trying to make happen and make a reality. And because that vision means so much to them, because their vision is the focus of their energy and their effort, they are willingly sacrificing everything that they can to make sure that they ensure the achievement of that vision. And for those of you who are listening and that's not a part of your journey, is not a part of what you do, is not a part of your thought process, let me encourage you to consider establishing a strong vision for what tomorrow looks like. Let me encourage you to establish a strong view of what tomorrow could be. We're not talking about what it takes to actually launch it and to bring it into reality. We're talking about having a view of tomorrow that drives you, that pushes you to go beyond the limitations of today. So having a strong vision is important. The second thing I want to share with you is the importance of planning. You know, planning is everything. Planning is actually the alignment of your vision with the steps you actually need to take today. So while you can be focused on tomorrow all you want to, and all the visionary leaders understand how it's easy to be extremely focused on tomorrow and how easy it is to just let go of today. But, you know, as visionary leaders, we do have to come back to reality and deal with today, the moment, right? And so planning forces you to get out of tomorrow for a moment and think about what steps you need to take today to get to tomorrow. So that's essential in any process of launching a project, a program, an idea, a product, etc. So you got to go through the planning process. And sometimes planning does include, many times, it does include talking to the right people. It includes investigating answers to questions that you have. It includes research. It includes looking at test cases of things that have succeeded and not succeeded. It includes looking at your own past failures and the mistakes you've made over the years. All of that goes into launching, right? And I think, just to go off on a quick tangent, you know, the mistakes and the failures you've had over the years are a part of the fabric of who you are as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a leader. It's important. It's a part of the story. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of what will become eventually the success you are targeting. So you do want to include your failures as a part of your plans. You also want to include your successes. Your successes are equally important to the journey, right? So the things you've done well, the things you've done right, the things that you've gotten correct are a part of the journey. Because if you got something right, and you've done it right, and you've gotten the right results, you don't want to waste that time that you invested to learn, right? You want to utilize what you got right and to ensure that you put those things into place so that you can not repeat or recreate the wheel in terms of what will work, what will be successful, etc. So you got to look at what you done right, what you done wrong. You got to look at research from good experts. You got to look at case studies from other businesses as a part of your plan, and put that plan into place. I've covered in multiple podcasts how to plan, how to strategize, how to write this stuff down. Go back and review that stuff. Okay, and if that stuff doesn't work for you, then search for a planning process, a planning template that makes sense to you. So we talked about having a vision, we talked about planning, and then the last thing, which I think really troubles a lot of people and it's hard for a lot of people, the last thing I would encourage you to do is to execute. Execution is difficult because now you're getting out of your head of thinking about tomorrow. Now you got to get out of the paper by putting the plan down and being finished with the planning process. And after you've done that, you now have to execute what you wrote down to achieve what you see will happen tomorrow. I think people are fearful of the execution process because everything seems perfect in your mind when you're planning the vision. Everything seems easy when you have the vision of what your business can be or will be. Everything seems peachy when you consider or you kind of daydream about what the business will be or what it will become. And while you will spend quality time thinking about that business and thinking about the success you'll achieve, and you spend a lot of time actually saying, if I can just get X number of people to buy X number of products from me, then I'll be set. It's those type of visioning ideas that you go through really takes out of the picture the reality of the ups and downs that you will have to go through to even achieve a tenth of what you actually want. Execution means I now got to get into the real world and I got to sell. You're in a nonprofit, you're in a selling business. You're in a for-profit business, small business, whatever type of business, you're in a selling business. You're in the ministry, you're in a selling business. And now when you have to leave behind the plans, you got to leave behind your prayers and hopes and dreams of what tomorrow will be with your business, your organization, and you got to put it to action. That can be super scary. And so that's something you got to deal with. And quite frankly, it's a part of the building process. I challenge you to embrace all three of these elements. There's so much more to share when it comes to these elements. But I challenge you to embrace them because it is a part of the reality of what we have to do to build a successful project or program. And even if you fail, even if it doesn't go anywhere, even if you don't achieve any version or any piece of the vision you desire, you will learn something on this journey. And I hope that what you don't learn is to quit. What I hope you learn is how to adjust and to get back on the saddle and to attack the dream and the vision you have. Sometimes it will cause you to take detours and delays. Sometimes you will pause for a moment, for a season, however long that season lasts. But you got to get back on that horse because that dream, that vision you have is not going away. You still desire to help kids. You still desire to help those coming home from prison. You still desire to help single mothers. You still desire to provide quality clothing to people. You still desire to provide a quality ministry or counseling for people. You desire to sell your product, and it might not be successful. So then the question is, what are you going to do to build this project or this program? What are you going to do to build this business? Are you going to tweak your vision or keep it? Are you going to go back to the drawing board and improve your plan or keep it? Or are you going to reevaluate your execution tactics? Or for the very first time in your entrepreneurial life, you're actually going to execute on a dream that has had plans sitting on the shelf for years. My hope is that you put into action all these things. And let me just kind of remove this myth for you. Just because you have a vision and a plan in place doesn't mean it doesn't need to be tweaked. It can be tweaked on the journey because you'll learn things as you start to execute. This is the benefit of execution. As you begin to execute your dream, your vision, and your plan, you'll learn things and you'll realize, okay, this is not what I thought it was. This is not what I dreamed it would be. So let me add this, take this away, make this adjustment, and we'll go from here. Yeah. So you don't have to be tied down to what you wrote down, but you still got to move forward. I hope this is helpful. This is Dr. William Clark. Follow us on all social media platforms at Dr. William P. Clark. And listen, reach out, connect. Let's have this conversation. Let's continue to have this conversation about the steps you need to take to launch this thing that's on your heart, the thing that you've been dreaming about for years. Let's have this conversation. This is Dr. William Clark for Leadership Conversations, and we'll see you in the next show. Peace.